Wow, we seem to be live already. Facebook is on, Periscope is on, Twitch is on, YouTube is on right now. Let's verify that this is happening. I think it is happening. Yes. Is it?
Is it?
Yes, it is happening. All right, we are live. And
Yeah, comments.
hi everybody. Welcome to Dr. Mix, and I will let you guys introduce yourselves whilst I sort out a few things here on the live broadcast.
Okay, after you.
Go after you.
No, after you.
All right. My name is Dom, and I'm senior producer here at Dr. Mix. And we'll hope you have a good time today.
I'm Aaron. I'm one of the engineers here. Yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
You looking forward to it?
Yeah.
So
Looking forward for the
fantastic.
questions.
Yeah, I think that we are live on Facebook right now, so all I need to do, I think, is get to the post and then share the event as it's live. We are live. Yes, yes, yes. I think this is working. Okay, cool, fantastic. Dom, how have you been? Are you enjoying this weather?
It's great, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's
Yeah,
amazing.
we almost canceled this because of the weather, right?
No, I mean, it's like it's nice to be doing this on the daytime, because the truth is that during the daytime we always work, so we never have enough time to actually do the things that are more
True.
creative,
True.
like speaking to each other,
Yeah.
and speaking to people.
I remember the last time I
True.
saw you.
Yeah, your hair has grown.
Yeah.
Nice. Different rooms, different lives, different mixes. Yeah. Good.
That's what we do. And so let's see if we have already any questions in. I think that what we want to do is we go to Facebook, I guess, and take our questions there. Because, yeah, I mean, we're doing this across different platforms, which is quite interesting. We've never done it. What is your favorite tea? Ask Kei Suzuki.
I
Dom.
think that Aaron is, he's very qualified to talk about this.
I just had
Uh,
a blueberry and blackberry tea. It was really good.
Was it a tea or was it
was
like
a
just
tea.
okay?
It was really good. It was Twinings. I think.
Well, I would say that I don't know. I think my favorite used to be another one, but because of Chris, and Chris, if you're listening, I've switched to Yorkshire tea, and I think I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Especially the hot water, because we have hot water here in London. So
Right.
Yep.
Yep. I would go with English breakfast or Earl Grey in the afternoon. But the first question is coming from Andreas F. Echevry. I hope I didn't butcher your name too much. And he's asking about how to mix pop vocals. That's an interesting subject. Well, firstly, in a mix, what would you say, Aaron? What would you say is the main difference between pop vocals and, say, rock vocals as opposed to other styles?
Generally, with rock, the vocals are a little bit more buried. With pop, they have to be right at the front because they are the most important thing. That usually is fitting the rest of your arrangement around it. It can often be a very big arrangement thing, but it's also a lot of compression, and staged compression, I would say, is probably the most important thing.
Right. How about you, Dom?
pop vocals. Where should I begin?
I mean, what's the first thing that pops in mind?
I would say like the two elements, of course, parallel compression, very important. Actually, three elements. Distortion. It might sound like a bit weird, but there are barely any pop vocals out there right now that don't have like a bit of saturation, some distortion to make them cut through. And when you hear this very prominent vocal sound, most of the times they use some saturation or some very subtle kind of distortion, even in parallel. And the third thing for me, I would say, because pop vocals are very wide most of the times, and
Right.
there are two ways to do this, either with backing vocals, but sometimes you hear like the lead vocal and it sounds very wide. And I would say that, of course, you can use doublers and everything, but it doesn't sound as neutral. I would say like very, very short reverbs. that basically you don't hear it as a reverb. You just leave the early reflections on,
Right.
and it sounds very, very wide and three-dimensional. Try it, and you will be surprised.
All right. Fantastic. Right. Oh, we got so many questions already.
Should we go like that so that we can see them?
Yeah, I'm sure
Okay,
YouTube ones as
let's
well.
see.
Mm.
Which is the best MIDI keyboard from Pali? Which is the best MIDI keyboard? We've got so many. I recently like a lot to work with Montage, because it's got a really nice response. I've got the Montage 7, which is not the 88. It's not the 61. It's the one in the middle, and the keys are not fully weighted, so I like that a lot. Otherwise, I have been happy with what's the white red one that we had? The
We had quite a few.
okay.
I mean, it depends on what you want, I guess. It's like if you want to, if you're very picky with the keyboards. I mean, like myself, I'm extremely picky when it comes to keyboards. So I think that, Claudio, you might mean the. We had quite a few of them, either Nectar or the
Yep.
Novation. The
The
SL,
innovation was
SL2.
the SL innovation. I
Fatar
used that
keys.
for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
That is quite cool.
I like that as well.
Yeah, the Nectar was he had a nice look. I liked that they had that controller. The keyboard was alright, but
More light.
the thing is,
Yeah.
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 I mean, we come from being Yamaha
Yeah.
heads before we even got in touch with Yamaha. So that means that you've been using a lot
The motive.
the motive, which the big weighted motive is really cool. So yeah, let's see if I can catch some question from. Let's see, what else have we got? Which frequencies do I mix bass at if it's above the kick? What frequencies do I mix bass at if it's above the kick? Asks Madin or Maiden. Let's see. If the bass is higher is in frequencies than the kick, that's I think what he means, right?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I mean that's a lot very common for rock situations because you don't necessarily need to have a huge bass as you would have in say hip hop. So the kick can be a little bit more dominant on the bass. Usually I like to have my credibility of the kick drum around. I explore around 40 to 70 hertz for credibility in the low end of the kick drum. If the bass you can do without enhancing those frequencies, if anything, take them a little bit out of the way. You can use sidechain multiband compression, so every time the kick hits you can remove a little bit of that bass low end. And also because the bass is important, that it defines the harmonic center. So the mid frequencies sometimes are more important than the low end in the bass. So in actual facts you can push more around the 1000, 2000 to 1K, 2K before you need to focus too much on the low end for certain styles. What do you think, Aaron?
I generally find that, especially for rock, the bass is living in the 200, 400 range. That's where you're going to get your clarity. The low end of the bass is very dependent on the bass guitar that you use.
Right.
I generally try to find one that lives around 80, so you have the kick below it,
Right.
or lives below the kick.
I'll leave below the kick. Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, if you find this useful, please share this live streaming. I mean, you have friends? You share this, because this is good information, isn't it? What was I going to say? Oh, and stick around. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. If you right now send an email to questions, isn't it? Questions at drmix.com. with your name, last name, and an email address, and say mixing and mastering. Yeah, we will select 3 mixing and mastering winners, and we will give them a free mixing and mastering course. It's called the Official Guide to Mixing, and we'll give 3 of them for free today. 3 of them. So email questions at drmix.com with your name, last name, country, and say mix and mastering, and we will select a winner by the end of this program. Right. Hey, do you guys want to select a question?
Yeah,
Go for it, Dom.
sure. Okay, let's see. Which one is your favorite gear in the studio?
Okay, I have a good one.
Gabriel.
Iro, can you please give me somewhere where you can see this one? Okay, that guy. Right now, I'm using this a lot. Yes, we have a mini Moog here.
A little bit fat.
Little bit fat. I love this. So right now I'm playing a lot with this piece of gear, my friend, and Gabriel, that's your name. Let's see. In post-production, is it better to give the track to someone else for master? I think it's a good idea to give your track to someone else in general, because when you are involved with the production of the track, with the writing or with the mixing, or coming up with the track in general, you're very much involved. And I mean, Aaron and Dom here know it. Kay knows it very well. Even Iro knows this. When I make my music, I cannot mix it myself, just because I am too involved. So what I tend to do is I create a rough mix, and then I ask Aaron or Dom to get it up to speed, and then I might retouch it in the end with their consensus. And that's basically because if you need fresh ears for to mix your music, let alone mastering. And that's why, I mean, back in the 80s, we would have like somebody to do the recording, somebody to do the mixing, somebody to do the mastering. That was an ideal situation, yes, of course. So if you can get some fresh ears, and those fresh ears belong to somebody who you trust, then that is a very good thing to happen. What do you think, Dom?
I think it's always a good idea, because you are more, if somebody else will be more objective and they will have, a fresh perspective on your track, especially because sometimes producers, when you're producing something, you get too attached to a certain sound that you have maybe created or, programmed, and you think, oh, that sound is really great, but, somebody else might take your mix and they think that, okay, actually this sound is not so good. I'm actually gonna mute it. And then you get upset,
Right.
of course, but most of the times it's for the better. It's if something doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah, I think it's always a good idea.
Yeah,
Do you think?
definitely. I mean, even mixing, you can get too used to a sound by the
No,
end of
yeah.
it if you don't take breaks, and you can't be objective.
Right.
True.
Yeah. Let's see. We have
Should we take them?
how to mix without dominating the music with vocals, asks VJ. VJ, I apologize. Well, how do you do that? Well, the thing is that you have to, I mean, presumably, if we're talking about pop, if we're talking about, mainstream genres, you still need to be able to listen to understand the words. And of course, it is dependent on the performer. The performer, some performers are so good and they can drive the song from the back of the room, so you don't even need to make them so loud because they articulate the words really well. They have a driving attitude towards the song. So if you have a good performer, you don't need to mix him or her as you don't need to mix too loud. Having said that, there are other tricks that you can use. For example, if I still want to be able to listen to the lyrics and to the vocals, but I don't want to get them too loud, then I can scoop the mid frequencies from instruments that are in the same area. Aaron, can you please elaborate on this technique that we use a lot?
Yeah, in the mid-range, you generally should carve out a lot of space for your vocal to sit anyway in the other instrumentation, because otherwise they're going to be fighting and they're going to be clashing, and you want your vocal to sit on top of the other instruments, and it's not going to do that unless you carve space. Dom, don't you agree?
Well, it's always a trade-off, really, isn't it?
Right.
I think the most transparent way to make space for the vocals is to use a multiband compressor, and then you just sidechain the mid-range where the vocals sit, and basically when the vocals kick in, then all the instruments kind of trigger the compressor. Sorry, the vocals trigger the compressor for the instruments, and then immediately you get like this space for the vocals. And I think that this is the best way because, first of all, when you have no vocals, your instruments, your entire instrumentation is like untouched. You can make it as great as you want it to be, as loud as you want it to be. If you have like a rock mix and you want like really powerful guitars, you probably cannot do without this trick, because basically you want the guitars loud, you want the vocals loud. Of course EQ comes into play, but when you start compressing with sidechain these mid frequencies depending on your vocals, then it's not only your vocals sound clear, but also your guitars sound like they're embracing the vocals. And that goes for pads, for synths, for everything, basically.
Right. Okay. Let's try. I mean, I was gonna touch on something. This is actually a side thought that I had about this. The way I like to mix is to just have all of the tracks going all at the same time right from the beginning, and just try to get a balance, possibly get a balance against the original demo mix, or the original rough mix, and then I carve bit by bit from that, rather than kick, snare, bam bam, do it one by one, and then I always listen to it as a general thing. What's your policy, Aaron?
I kind of do that, but also I've mixed so many tracks by now that I sort of know, just hearing the vocal, where it wants to sit with the other instrumentation, so I can bring them in slowly.
Okay. Cool. I would like to try and respond to as many questions as possible. Hi there. Just wondering your opinions on stereo imaging before or after compression in mastering. Same questions, but with EQ2. Thanks. All right. Okay. Stereo imaging. Stereo imaging is something that, in my opinion, should take place right before limiting. If we're talking about mastering kind of stereo imaging, I mean, you can use stereo imaging within the mix to individual elements. But if you're talking about mastering, then I probably will like to do that at the very end, just before the limiter and the dithering. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, it has to be fairly late in the chain. If you're doing compression after you do your stereo imaging and you're using linked compression rather than unlinked compression, you're pushing the sides down together again, so you're kind of undoing what you've just done.
Right.
And it doesn't make any sense. So either if you're using unlinked compression, you can kind of get away with it, but that's more problems in and of itself. So yeah, right before the limiter.
Right. How about you, Dom?
Yeah, totally right before the limiter. I wouldn't add something like a dynamics processor you want to do like drastic things after the widening, and that goes for everything. Basically, if you want to, for example, add like any like EQ, unless you want to do mid side, I would still do it before the stereo imaging. Basically, get the sound right the way you want it, and then you spread it.
Cool. Cool. So I'm glad we agree on that.
Yeah.
We better, right? Okay. Let's see. All right. You're welcome. I'm glad you. The answer was useful. Just let me remind you one more time. Will you please share this this streaming so that we can grow this little audience and be useful to as many people as possible. And I am gonna check my email now and see how many we got. Questions. Ooh, we already have a few ones. All right. Okay, I will remind you again. We have a a course on mixing. It's called the Official Guide to Mixing, and right now we are offering 3 winners on the course. If you send an email to questions@drmix.com and say your name, last name, and your country, say mixing, mastering, and we will select 3 winners. And so yeah, that's done. Let's see if we got any questions from YouTube.
We do have quite a few.
We do. Okay.
We do.
Can you please select a few?
This is a good one from Ravi, who asks, the acoustic guitar is a single layer. How do we achieve a good stereo width similar to double takes or hard panned?
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I will let you, Aaron, answer that if you want to.
Well, a great way of recording guitar to get width in that respect is to use mid-side recording, which is where you have 2 microphones. If you can look in more detail, it takes a lot to explain it. But you're using phase, and then you have control over the side of your acoustic guitar and the mid of your acoustic guitar.
Right.
So you can get it really wide in your mix without any of the problems that come from artificially doing it.
Right. Yeah. That was a hot one. Have you got any curveball for us?
Well, however, if you do have to do it artificially, the a very easy way to do it is to basically duplicate your track and delay one of the duplicate basically for a few milliseconds, like 10, 15, not more than that, and then pan them hard and right. This way you get like a very, very wide sound. Also, if you detune one of them, like a few cents up or down, then you get a even more pronounced wider image.
Yep.
So
I like to also, detuning is a good one. Also, a little bit of chorus, a little bit of flanger. I mean, that can work magic. One other problem of the acoustic guitar, if it's recorded mono, if it's recorded as just one take, is that it normally sits around the vocals, because you're not going to have it pan hard left, especially if it's driving the song. So part of the problem is that it lives in the same space as the vocals, and the mid frequencies are important for the guitars, and the mid frequencies are important for the vocals as well. So that is not ideal. So one solution is just to double track them. So record them 2 times, then you place one to the right and one to the left, and that way you leave more space in the middle. So that would do it. We've got quite a few questions. Hey, what's up from New York, USA? Hey, James. And Anonymous Rapper asks again, what's that email again? It's questions@drmix.com. Okay, let's see. Yes. There was a compared TR-808 and the TR-8 sounds similar. Wow. Yes. You sent the TR-08, which is, I guess, the boutique Roland, the white one, but we have the TR8 without that 0. I'm not sure if I got this right, but anyway, how does the 808 compares to the TR8? Compares pretty well, actually. I find that the 909 does not compare as well. The 909 on the TR8, the 909 sounds pretty cool. The toms are not there, I think. The attack of the toms they're just not there. But claps, great. Hi-hat, great. Kick drum, okay. And still very pleasurable, don't get me wrong. And amazing instrument. And plus on the TR8, you can also set the shuffle. Whereas on the original 808, you cannot do that. Only on the 909 could you do that. Yeah, the 808, it sounds pretty good on the TR8. I'm actually very, very happy with it. And it has become my favorite kick drum for house music. So that's your answer. Do you want to select...
Okay, what is the basic setting in mastering session when using the thermionic mastering compressor?
All right.
It's a good one.
Doesn't matter.
I wish Kay was here actually to answer that question because he particularly lost that.
Doesn't matter. Whatever you do sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. I think very slow attack, very fast release. Don't compress more than 2 dBs, and you're fine.
Yeah.
I think that's the best sound of the thermionic culture.
Sometimes don't even compress.
Sometimes don't even
Yeah.
compress.
Yep, true.
Pass it through the the nice metal work that's inside of it, and that'll do the trick. Dom, you want to select one?
Yep. Hi, Hamish. Let's see. All right. We have Connie from Facebook. Hey, guys, do you have any advice for a one-woman team to consider when mixing and mastering? Wow.
In what sense? Can you read
I
that
guess-
question again? I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Do you have any advice for a one-woman team to consider when mixing and mastering?
So
yeah,
basically
it's
to do it all by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know, Aaron, what would you
Take
suggest?
lots of breaks,
Right.
frequent breaks. Like, go out, take a walk every so often, or
Yeah.
watch Netflix. Just do something that gets you away from it. Otherwise, you'll just lose your perspective.
At this point, I want to point out we're not affiliated with Netflix.
But
Yes.
can we be?
But yeah, I guess it's take breaks, make sure that your room sounds okay, which is never the case most of the times. If you don't have a treated room, try and get some basic treatment.
Yep.
We use a lot of GIK acoustics, and they're great. They're not very expensive either. If you get like the basic ones, of course.
Yeah.
If you build your entire studio,
It's gonna be quite
really
expensive.
But you know, they have starter packs, so you can get started with that. If you cannot even do that, then get a good pair of headphones. Like, you should have at least one good pair of headphones if you want
Yep.
to mix, although it's not the best way to mix with on headphones. And if you don't have any of those, I would say try and get like a room correction plugin. A very good one is the IK Multimedia ARC2, where you can measure your room and it will kind of fix some problems that you might have, and you'll be surprised how different things sound in your room compared to how they should sound in reality. So yeah, I mean, it's one of the boring things, but like monitoring environment is one of the most critical things before you even begin to lay your hands on the faders. So
Very good point. Jay Over asks, nice channel. Thank you, Jay. Have you ever used the SM7B to record vocals? Have we ever? Well, this microphone, which I am using as a radio microphone right now, is Michael Jackson's some of the Michael Jackson's famous tracks were recorded on this guy. Also, the vocal channel for the Red Hot Chili Pepper is this short microphone plus a 1073 plus a 1176 straight into the desk. No, into the converter actually. So yeah, it's a very good microphone. I like that it rejects a lot what else is around, and it gives you a very clean sound, very dynamic. Wow, wow. Actually, wow, wow. I don't know. I'm not much of a singer, but yes, I love this microphone very much. We have quite a few in the studio.
Okay, should
Thank you very
we go to the next one?
Yes, we only have 15 minutes left.
Yes. Okay. What's your opinion about Isotope products?
Wow,
Yeah, they're great.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I love them. So I will just say my opinion very quickly. Yeah,
What is your favorite plugin?
from Izotope.
Yeah.
I like Trash a lot.
Ooh.
It's a great distortion, saturation plugin. Lots of options. And of course I would say probably I like the vocal one that they make, the vocal synth.
Alloy.
Yeah, the vocal synth where you can
Oh,
actually
yeah.
do some really wicked stuff on vocals. It's great. It's great for production, not like
Yeah.
your typical mixing. And of course, I like the Ozone is fantastic.
Yep.
What's your favorite?
Stutter Edit is my favorite right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I absolutely love that
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You can just sort of leave it on your music channel if you do a music channel before your master bus.
Right.
Have a MIDI track, and then you can just program your glitch effects
Yep.
straight in.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
I particularly like. Recently, I'm using RX a lot to just clean off things that before wasn't possible to. I think that the stereo imager is great. Actually, back to that question about what stereo imaging can you use before the limiting. I like that a lot.
That's my favorite one.
That's my favorite.
Totally agree on that.
Yeah.
We've tried almost all of them.
Yeah. I mean, we spent a fair amount of time.
It's just multiband. That's great. That's the great thing about
Yep.
it. It's multiband, and you have lots of control. So if you want to leave your low end alone, which you shouldn't touch really, when you're doing stereo imaging and spreading, you can do that. And actually, you can make it completely mono if you want to. And of course, then if you want to do like just expand your guitars, you can just do that. The high mids or the low mid range. It's brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that we have to go back a little bit to Facebook because we were answering all questions on YouTube. So.
Oh no, this was Facebook.
Oh,
actually.
that was
Yeah,
Facebook?
the two last ones were Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. Gotcha. So yes, we are nearly towards the. Well, we've got like 10 minutes left. We're thinking, just do like a 45 minutes one. We keep it nice and short, and we keep on doing it. Actually, we promise to do this at least a couple of times a month. So I'm there. I said it. We've committed to this. Yeah, there's a music commentary to this, and
If we don't do it, it's for good purpose. We're mixing good music most
Yeah.
of the times.
yeah. Well, yes, exactly. And wow, we have hello from Scotland, Amish. That's fantastic. Let's see. Read us live. What's going on there? Nestrick. Let's see. From Brazil. That's fantastic. Hello. Liedson, I think you pronounce it. Let's see. What are the questions? Shall we? Oh, why only 360p? It's not only 360p. I think that we're going 720, so you can actually push it to 720 if you have enough bandwidth. and on the drum kit. Okay, how many compressors you use on the vocal chain, and what of them will be better for vocals? Alexander Morozov asks, presumably from Russia or something like that. How many compressors do we use on vocals? How many compressors do you use on vocals, Aaron?
I have no idea.
Yeah, good.
I just compress with different compressors until it sounds good. I have a bunch that I like. Sometimes I do limiting as well. 3 maybe? 3, 4?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
The distressor is really good.
Yeah.
If you're using the distressor, you can get away with less. Because that thing can compress 20 dB and you won't even hear it if you set it right.
Yeah.
Dom, any other thoughts?
I would say in general, there would be one compressor to tame the main peaks, to even out the vocal a little bit. Then I would say one compressor to give a little bit more color.
Right.
So that would be my color compressor, and it wouldn't compress too much either. And there's the parallel compressor, which is most of the times either a distressor or a DBX or an 1176, of course.
DSO.
If you count it as a
If you count it,
compressor.
it counts as a
compressor.
compressor. It is. It's a
But
multiband
yeah, I mean,
compressor.
like compressor, I would say that, and then maybe
LA2.
in the end, yeah, LA2A, of course. That would be my color compressor, of course. Or Tube Tech is also a great one.
Yes.
Of course, the hardware, it's like brilliant. You can get so many different sounds, and also the plugin from Softube is really good.
Yep.
And some Slate stuff, but typically like 3 compressors, and then in the end there might be a limiter that just chops off a little bit, like 1 dB, not more than that. I think if you do it right, you don't need much more, and it won't sound over compressed either. So
fantastic. How about if you guys look for another question now?
Okay, we can do that.
Let's see what you can do.
I think I saw one here. Where'd it go? Do you have any tips for making MIDI drums sound bigger or good?
Ooh. Yep. This is one for Dom, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, MIDI drums bigger. Well, to begin with, get good drum samples.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing.
Please don't give away my favorite.
Okay, sorry. No, don't get good drum samples. Aaron will tell you about that. I will tell you about something that's...
No, just don't tell people.
okay, sorry. Okay, I won't tell. So you don't need samples. Just, use your pots or something. But anyway, I think the very first thing is samples. Get some good drum libraries, sometimes combine 2 drum libraries at the same time. Try and layer acoustic drums with electronic drums, not because you want to get like a hybrid sound, but because you might be able to get like a better, bigger sounding drum. So if you, for example, if you have a kick drum and you layer it with an electronic kick drum like a 909, a very short, a very low ND kind of kick drum, you won't really be able to hear the electronic kick drum, but you will be able to have this low end that is not possible from an acoustic drum sample. And if you another thing is performance. Most MIDI drum sounds suffer because the performance is not great, because most people, of course, they program them on the key editor or the piano roll and everything, and they tend to sound fake. So I would say watch one of our videos that we have on YouTube, that we do some figure drumming, and it's not that hard. We might actually do a video about it, and
we're considering that.
Try and get a MIDI keyboard and play your drums. You will be amazed on how much better they will sound rather than just programming it on the grid and trying to move things around. So
that's it. I mean, when you learn how to play a little bit and then you play against the track, against the music, then all of a sudden you're using dynamics, because it's natural to if you have a little bit of interplay and if you have musical sense and musical understanding, then it will happen naturally. You know what? I want to take advantage of this situation to just say we are trying all the time to get better content for all of you guys and girls on our channels, and we're really extremely happy on how much you're following us. I mean, we have 173,000 followers on Facebook, 34,000 followers on YouTube, and we are trying to understand what you like, what kind of music you prefer, what styles, what instruments, because we always make content, and we really could use your help here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share our mailing list subscription form on the Facebook channel. So if you go on facebook.com /drmix.com, DOC. Well, you just go on our website, it's there, or just Google Facebook Dr. Mix. I have just shared that. Now when you subscribe to our mailing list, also there is a questionnaire with 3 questions about what is your favorite music style, what's your music style. You can select more than one. What is your instrument, and what is your software, so that we can understand better what kind of thing you do, and so we can make better content for you. Also, when you subscribe, you get a 909 sample pack that we've done ourselves, so it's done well, and also 10 mixing and mastering tips. We really want to be paying attention to you lovely people and colleagues and friends and musicians and producers. So I think I'm gonna let you take maybe a couple of more questions. In the meantime, I will select the winner.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dom, you can pick one.
Let's go for the next one. Okay. Let's see. Okay, what is your favorite virtual synth for bass? Very good. Love that question. Do you use compression on bass in electronic music? Okay, so while Claudio is picking the winners, I think I can definitely tell you a few of our favorite virtual synths for bass Victor. Okay, where should I begin? Virtual synths, right? So not hardware. Okay, that's even harder. Okay, one of my personal favorite ones is first of all, I would say lately I've been using the ARP from Arturia, which is a great synth. I really like it for these deep bass sounds. A great synth as well is I love Retrolog from Steinberg. If you're using Cubase, you have it for free. So brilliant synth, can be very fat. Another one would be one of my favorite ones lately is Avenger, which is a beast of a synth. And I'm not sure. I mean, there are so many of them. Yeah. These are like, I'm not gonna say like massive. I mean, of course, this is great and we're using it all the time, but it's being overused in my opinion. I would say these 3 currently are my favorites. Aaron, do you have any specific one that you really like?
My territory. You're the guy I go to for that, Dom.
Yeah, I would say, when we were talking virtual synths, of course, we're using lots of hardware as well, which are a bit more fun sometimes. But yeah, and do you use compression on bass in electronic music? I think you can...
Sidechaining for sure, we definitely do that. I tend to go for more subtle distortion as my form of compression for electronic music rather than a straight compressor. I don't know why, just it's sort of the color of the sound you expect.
I would say if you want to get like a more compressed sound for your bass on electronic music, a very good practice is to have like your 2 layers of bass. So one layer is your layer that will give you the notes and your presence and the synth sound, like the texture you're looking for, and then you can have a layer that's like a sub bass layer, which it's just a sine wave, or a very kind of dark sawtooth wave. And if you layer them together, then you get like the nice solid low end from the sub bass, and then you still have your top end from your second layer, and the sub bass, like the for example, the if you use a sub bass, then you still get this like nice compressed sound. But I would always compress the sub bass, because the higher you go, the less volume you have. So I would even use a limiter sometimes. A very clean limiter, not like a colorful limiter, but like a limiter that can. When you see the fader in electronic music, sub bass should always be the same, constant volume. It shouldn't go up and down. Of course, sidechain is a different thing, but it shouldn't go up and down. It should always be should be like minus 12 dB, minus 12 dBs. D, E, it should always be like that. I mean, you can go like minus 0.5, it's okay, but I would aim to make it as even as possible. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think we have the 3 winners. I can finally announce. Thank you for the many submissions, by the way. The first winner is Simon Murphy. Congratulations to you. The second winner is Liam Minopoulos. That's big congratulations to you too. And finally, Moises del Toro. Like Benicio del Toro, I guess. So this is the winning theme. Wait. It's not a very good sound, is it? It's actually. That's a good. That sounds like a little bit like a 80s game. Or when the thing dies.
Yeah, that's actually that's a great example to show the I think you were trying to do it before, right? This filter. So if you want to do like a nice sub bass sound, Claudio, you have the right instrument for the job. Yes.
Well, we cannot go too deep because otherwise you won't be able to listen to it from your laptop. But
the sub bass you won't be able to listen. That's the thing. You feel it more than. That's a great sound, for example. And then if you want to, layer this with another sound so that you have your top bass layer, then you just filter the other layer and filter the low end so that you leave space for that sub bass. So, yep.
All right. So I think we've got I think we're done. What time is it? Yes. It's well, what can I say? What camera should I speak to, Iro? That one? I keep. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, I got it now. Well, firstly, thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Dom.
Thanks,
for
guys.
putting up with all the stuff that we do, which is a lot. But more than anything, thank you all for following us, for giving us this much joy, and for trusting us with your music. And we will keep on doing it a lot. Please share this video, spread the gospel about Dr. Mix. And congratulations to the winners. You are going to receive a free code for the Udemy course. And in fact, all of the others are going to receive a 50% discount just because they were cool enough to send an email. How's that? So, well, thank you so much. I hope to see you very, very soon. Which, I mean, what are we going to do this in? What, 2 weeks maybe?
2 weeks, yeah.
2-3 weeks. We'll try and do this again. Love you so much. Thank you from the Dr. Mix team. And I'll see you later.
Bye.